Good evening. My name is Jaya Mahalingam, and on behalf of the IBPC Women's Forum, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to another Zoom session. A very warm welcome to our members and special guests. To our guests based in Dubai, I would like to say that we look forward to welcoming you as our members. IBPC Dubai is the only representative organization of the Indian businessmen and professionals that is recognized by the Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a great platform, not just for networking, but also for value addition. Feel free to get in touch with me or with the IBPC office directly at office@ibpc.com or their physical location, which is at Taj Business Bay. International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women all over the world. And this is annually celebrated on March 8th since 1911. We at IBPC Women's Forum are absolutely delighted to mark this special day by bringing to you today's session featuring a young Indian woman entrepreneur who started off her career as a chartered accountant, was a banker for a bit, but then changed course to follow her passion and to become a social entrepreneur. She set up her own company, Rootz Organic, in 2017. Now, I don't want to steal her thunder, so we will hear from her the why, what, and how. She will also be sharing some tips on leading a healthy and happy life. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome with a thunderous but virtual applause our speaker, the founder and Chief Organic Officer of Rootz Organic, Ashwini Harish. Namaste, Ashwini.
Namaste, Jaya. Thank you so much. What can I say? What a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for having me at the IBPC Forum. And I feel truly honored. And first of all, to all the wonderful women out there today, happy International Women's Day. I feel elated to be able to speak to all of you and share my journey. So thank you, Jaya, for once again giving me the opportunity. So where do I begin? Uh, I landed in Dubai 15 years ago. Yeah. And like you, she already introduced me. I started my career as a chartered accountant. But as you must have already read in my bio, I think I became a chartered accountant by chance. Yes, so I did land in Dubai, got a wonderful job in a corporate sector, and life started. But then when I started living here, I just noticed one thing. I don't know how many of you will resonate with what I feel, but I would love to see some thumbs up if you can. When I started to visit any store or the malls, I noticed that everything was just dumped here. Everything was available in surplus. And I felt one factor missing, that life. So I hailed from Bangalore. I come from a place where greenery is like all around. But when I landed here, I just felt that life was missing. How many of you really felt that? Do you resonate with my feeling? Yeah, sure. I'm sure all of us do to a certain extent. Well, that was just perhaps the initial feeling, and we just kind of life started living. I was blessed with two beautiful children. The corporate job continued. The second trigger point I would say is when perhaps my daughter, who was 5 years old, had to be treated on antibiotics. And that was something which kind of questioned my own motherhood, to be honest. I mean, we're talking about Women's Day today, so I'm sure many of us feel that, right? Like so many of us feel like, am I doing right? Am I doing the right thing for my children? So yes, I mean that's exactly what triggered me as well when I had to kind of give an antibiotic dose to my daughter, and I'm like, where am I going wrong? What's happening? You know, perhaps that was the second trigger point for me. It's a very common thing in this region, right? I'm sure many of you, if you if there are any young mothers in the forum, I'm sure this is a very common problem of throat infection and allergies and things like that, right? So we don't know why these things are happening. And that's exactly where I started doing more and more of my research. And corporate job was not taking me anywhere. I have to say, it was getting a little too much for me, and I just couldn't connect. And I'm a person, I've always been driven by giving back to the community. And that's when something inside of me started making that noise for me to say that, you know what, there's more to life, there's more to where we are right now, and there's more to do things better. And that's when I decided to take things matter in my hand. And one of the very funny part is when I started to do something, like when I wanted to do something, I felt that unless I start an organization or a platform, nobody's going to take me seriously. So it was a very funny thought. I felt that no, I need to do something. I need to create a platform, and I only then it will be taken seriously. And that's when I took a leap. In 2017 is when I decided that yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my journey into more of a sustainable living. But then when I started doing my research, obviously, when we all start to make ours, like open a platform and do something, we're going to do our research and everything, right? And when I started to do the research, I stumbled upon many factors which I would like to kind of ask you a question, and I'll be really happy to see some answers in the chat box if I can. How many of you have felt that we do not get enough family support the way we do back in India? How many of you have really felt that? The next question would be, how many of you feel the kind of quality of things that we receive here or the kind of food that we eat here is very different from what we find in India? Yeah,
Most of us, I think, yes,
I'm
most of
sure,
us.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Why? Why? I mean, what is it? What is it that is missing? I mean, what is it that when I go to India back home, when I go on a holiday, I just feel like, oh my God, I was missing this food so much. I'm like the taste and everything, right? But then when you come here, it's different. Why? So when I kind of started to do my research, I realized there's a lot of reliance and dependence on the imports in this region because we don't grow here, right? However, what about the quality assurance? What about the quality check? What about the variety that our country has to offer? I mean, how many of you are aware of the wealth of grains that our country has to offer? Are you all, I mean, do you even, I mean, if we have to really name the kind of food that India has to offer, we are all not very aware of what India has to offer. And that was one of the points which kind of triggered me. I'm like, you know what? There's so much of a gap. There's so much of a gap in what is available here and what is available back in India. And why is it that just because we are living here as expats, why is it that we are not made that thing available? Why? That was the next question. And then another thing which, so again, this is part of my research, right? So when I was young, honestly, didn't pay much attention. But then, of course, when I decided to start a platform, I paid more attention to the little things. Surprisingly, Indian farmer suicidal rate is much, much higher in all over the world. In India is the highest, right? Why again? And that's exactly when I decided that when I start my platform, it's going to be about supporting India, the Indian grains, the Indian wealth of what the India has to offer. And that's how Roots was born. I mean, this is the kind of journey that I've had, right? From starting from coming from Bangalore, where I said, you know what, life is missing, to having children, to have face challenges with health, and to realize that, you know what, it's to do with the lifestyle and things that I'm doing in my family, which is not helping my children grow healthy and happy, to realizing that there are a lot of things which contribute to our overall well-being which are missing in the region. Another question I have to ask: when you were a kid or when you were a child, how many of us have really heard about cancer or PCOD or PCOS or thyroid or diabetes? I mean, name it. How many of us have really heard about this growing up? Yeah, no, but none of us, right? And how come over the last 10 or 15 years, I have perhaps one of my colleague or one of my friend has gone through this ailment? So where are we going wrong? Where are we going wrong? Absolutely, right? A lot. So these are the various questions which kind of started coming back to me, back and forth. And then I realized there are a couple of things which need to be addressed. And if I'm going to be really starting a platform, it needs to address these things holistically. You can, God's grace, when you have a profession, you can go find a job. I can still be very comfortable, but no, that's not the point. Giving back to the community, adding value to the community is a primary goal for me. And these were the questions based on which I started my journey. So what came next is fair enough. We have all these lifestyle issues. We have all these challenges. How do I really address them? Right. That's when I chose organic, because here we are here today to talk about the most heard of topic these days. That everybody talks about organic, sustainability. Why organic? Why sustainability? I mean, it's not important. Like many people say, it's not important. But my friends, I have to tell you that unfortunately, we have not been able to live a ailment free, stress free, chemical free life unless we start paying attention to the organic and sustainable living. And that's when it's like I'm perhaps a drop in an ocean. There are many people out there who are already doing a wonderful job. So if I may have to draw some references, Miss Vandana Shiva, who fights for Indian farmers, and then she's a woman of substance who is constantly fighting to bring back the Indian grains and the Indian lifestyle back into our living. And if I have to draw reference to recently, our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, talking about, guys, start consuming more millets, start consuming, it's not just one or two things that is available in our region, in our country. You know, start having them, start attacking those lifestyle ailments which are kind of haunting us these days. So these are the various things which kind of, this was like a guiding light for us, right? So for me, what became important was to work with socially driven individuals, socially driven organizations who are into this field, to make a real difference, to make a real difference to the community's living, to the community's health. So if you ask me why, I would like to quickly summarize why organic and why sustainable. Imagine a world, once again, where I can grow old with just a simple cough, cold, fever, and that's it. I'm still going out there. I'm still enjoying my holidays. I'm still enjoying my time with my family. I don't need to really spend my time at the hospital. And I guess this COVID and pandemic has even more emphasized how important it is to keep our immunities in check, to keep our guards up. How do we achieve that? And a plain and simple answer to that, in my view, in my opinion, is organic and sustainable living, which will ensure there is lesser carbon footprint, lesser chemical footprint into our living, lesser abuse of food. So we at Roots, another thing which kind of surprised me in my journey was food was treated like a commodity. Yeah? Buy one, get one free. Buy two, get three free. I'm like, I don't understand this concept. I'm sorry, I just don't understand. Food is life. You are what you eat, right? How do we really treat a food product as a commodity? How can you trade in it like a commodity, right? So this is another thing which surprised me. Whenever I would go in supermarkets, it's like two packets are like wrapped up in a cellophane tape and they're kept there on the shelf, like buy two get one free. And well, so yes, so these were the various factors which kind of questioned the entire system in terms of how it's working out here. And yes, through my platform, this is my kind of journey to whatever little difference, whatever little addition that I can make, that I would love to do. And like I was mentioning a while ago, we all are here, we come here in an aspiration to do well, have a good life, good income for ourselves, but at the cost of losing touch with our own culture, with our own roots. I mean, I will not really blame anyone for that. It's very natural. We as humans, we wherever we are, we adopt very well, right? So this is a region which where there is multicultural people coming from different nationalities, having different cuisines. Over the weekend, or sometimes 2-3 times in a week, we end up enjoying different cuisines. A lot of processed food, a lot of packaged food, a lot of ready available food. Let me tell you, not really done thoughtfully, for sure. I can tell that very confidently. All the food that is processed and packaged available here, it's not done. I mean, there's no thought going into it. I'm not saying all the packaged and processed food, yes, definitely, I'm not a supporter at all. The packaged food is wrong, but then there's no thought put into it. But then what is happening? We are actually losing our children's health, our own health, and that was another thing which I really wanted to kind of address through my platform, to bring back those little things which can make a huge difference in our overall well-being, our family's well-being. So yes, I mean, so we chose organic. We chose to work with people who believe in making a difference to the communities, and they're not pure commercial businessmen. And I'm really blessed. I feel very grateful that in my journey, there are so many people who have joined us. We have grown over a period of time, right? Thanks to the community in UAE, the beautiful community in UAE. I feel really blessed that we've grown with the word of mouth. With whatever we do on a daily basis, we've grown with the word of mouth. And I truly thank each and every person who has joined our journey, who has contributed to our journey. So yes, so these, we are very particular that we are going to be working in these lines only, and this is what we are going to be doing. And even and you must have also read in the bio that I feel blessed that very well-known health experts in the region, they enjoy working with us. We feel we absolutely enjoy inviting them, and like talking to them and things like that. So it's about bringing that holistic living through our platform, and that's exactly what Roots is all about. So like I said, it's been a journey, right? So for me, a lot of realizations, a lot of what can I say, a lot of filters being put, a check being put in the way we are going to operate, in the way we are going to make sure what we are offered is something which is value adding. So that's exactly what that's how we kind of continued our journey. And while this was happening, I realized, so you must have heard Luke Putino, Rujuta Divekar, Dr. B.M. Hegde, and even Dr. Khader. I'm an ardent follower of Dr. Khader, guys. I have to tell you, I absolutely love Dr. Khader. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of Dr. Khader. He's the millet man of India, and he is creating waves in the medical industry, including the lifestyle industry, wherein he has cured so many people. And we are a living example. We follow millets very closely, and all these wonderful human beings, they talk about one thing: support local, right? When I came to Dubai, I just felt there's nothing here. It's only desert. That's it. Nothing else. There's only desert. We have only malls to go to, and we have beaches. That nothing more to it. Only to realize over a period of time that there are amazing farms out here, and there are real farmers who are growing vegetables, who are growing green leafy vegetables and staple vegetables during winter. So we used to work with this farmers market. It's a very small setup, right, in this region, and all the farmers would gather there on a weekend morning. And I love talking to farmers. I mean, farmers really, I feel they're the best people in the world, who are working from morning till evening only to feed people. I mean, how beautiful is that? So, and I used to talk to them, and you know what? Are you even aware? Lots of vegetables that are grown in the region, in the farms, go waste. One, because they don't kind of tend to get direct people who can buy from them. Two, there's not much network that they have built, because in this region it's heavily reliant on the big corporates who are importing, and then it's an economy, right? It's a very normal thing. There's not much enough support extended to them. And I was like, okay. And I think that was for me, what can I say, an opportunity which touches my heart, which resonates with what I really really want to do. And this platform became another, what can I say, another beautiful reason God added to this platform, where I decided that I'm going to be supporting the local farmers. And I think we've already achieved that, and I'm really really happy that lots of people ask us, and we give reference very freely. You can go here, go buy vegetables, staple vegetables are available. And how beautiful, you can literally pluck it out of the where it's growing from. The mother nature is giving so much in abundance. Touch, feel, get your hands dirty, just do it. And it's amazing. So, and yeah, when Roots started, it was my dream that I really want to have a lot of people doing the farm visits, where I can really connect the communities back to the nature, back to where we truly truly belong. And how beautiful is the fact that UAE, being a desert, still has beautiful farms which are growing vegetables, and there's greenery out there. And when you go there, the aroma, the freshness in the air is just going to take you back home. Just take you back home. Like you will not really feel that you're away. Again, not many people are aware, and that's when we tied up with. So the reason I'm talking to you about this is because shortly, I think CB is going to be playing a video showing what we recently did at the beginning of the year, because I really want to end this speech with one thing, that whatever we do, whatever lifestyle we want to adopt, it's absolutely up to us. But there's one thing that I really want us to constantly pay attention to and bring it in our daily routine and lifestyle, is to focus on a more sustainable living. And when I say sustainable living, I'm not emphasizing on the word organic, because organic, I feel, is part of sustainable living. Organic is just a subset of sustainable living. Sustainable living is a very broad area. Sustainable living, in a way you do your daily routine, the way you do your daily job, the way you cook, the way you feed your family, the way you spend your time with your family, your friends, your colleagues. It's a very broad term. I would just want to say that consciously, we have to pay attention to live sustainably in such a way that we may not, we are constantly contributing to the betterment of this world. Because, yes, we have, like I said just a while ago, just over last 10 to 15 years, we have too many challenges to kind of handle. Pandemic has taught us a lesson that nothing is more important than health. And how much are we going to consciously contribute to that living is in our hands. And how do we achieve it? And how do we really make it happen? And that's where we are. And that's what we propagate. We propagate sustainable living in a very practical way. And I think I would just like to end at that, saying that we all have the power to contribute to the well-being of our overall Mother Earth, as well as for our own well-being. It's in our hands. And if there are tools and ways to do it, we can do it. And like I said, one of the very nice things that we started this year is to bring back to our nature, bring back to our roots. And we kind of managed to have a very beautiful video capture, which will be playing shortly. And that's about it. And there's much more to Roots, which perhaps you can always know about. And you feel free to get in touch with me. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it to Jaya because I think she absolutely, when she contacted me, I was really, really thrilled. Thank you, Jaya, for giving me this platform to share my journey. And thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Ashwini. Roots has been organizing trips, I understand, to farm. And when I saw the video, I was absolutely baffled that we can do this in Dubai. I'm a city bred, you see. So to me, a farm is somewhere from a distance. That we can do it at a short, with a short journey in Dubai is like really, really tempting. So, Sibi, could I please request you to play the video so that we all have this journey, virtual journey into the farmland in Dubai? Excellent. Thank you so much for your lovely presentation and a brief glimpse, a peek into your world. Uh,
Thank
as
you,
a
Jaya.
chartered accountant myself, I may be biased, but it's not easy to give up a cushy job. We're all passionate about something, but few of us make the passion, convert it into a lifestyle, and go the way you have done it. Although you mentioned the triggers that encouraged you to set up something like Roots, what was the transition period from thought process to actually getting it into action, setting up the company? How was that journey?
So yes, I quit my corporate job in 2014, and because I had enough, so I just did not feel connected, and I was like, I'm done. I'm really had enough. So 2014, I would say, to 2017 went into a lot of thinking and researching and understanding and figuring out what are the things. And that was the time also when I was trying to get my daughter's health back to on track, right? Because I wasn't at all happy with the fact that for everything and everything, antibiotics prescribed in this region. There's no thought put into it. So yes, I would say it took me almost 3 years for me to kind of take a leap, saying that yes, this is what I want to do. Although I did not spend a lot of time into figuring out that how am I going to lay out my platform, who am I going to work with, and everything. But the time, the 2014 to 2017 was invested in figuring out why, how, and where are we going wrong. I would say that. And, and only after the platform was launched, it was a leap. And then that's when everything started falling in place.
So you have had this Roots Organic as purely an online store, never a brick and mortar. Yeah. What are the particular advantages that you feel? I mean, the easiest thing we see is, things, the shops that are sprouting. Banks are giving way to shops actually, where people can see, feel. If it's 2017, this e-commerce was not so popular as yet. What made you choose this medium?
Again, like I said, I think there's so much surplus, right? And if you look at the kind of so when you enter into any store, everything is people are like busy bee, like buzzing, and too much of food which is like dumped into the stores, right? I have to tell you this: there's a lot of food wastage which happens because of this, right? And online for me, definitely when I was venturing into a business, it definitely was economical, cost efficient, at the same time not contributing to the food wastage, which perhaps will otherwise happen when you have, again, the time and effort that you actually put in setting up a store, bringing the products, putting it there, maintaining it, managing it. It's exposed. There are a lot of people come, go, a lot of things. So definitely, it was a cost efficient model. And definitely online was something which was definitely picking up in overall world, right? Like in back in India, it had already picked up, and we just felt that I think this is the simplest way to bring about what we want to offer, and doesn't need to be necessarily a store.
Great. I would urge audience to please send in your questions. I know many may have a lot of questions. This organic vegetables and fruits. I mean, like I said, I'm a city bred. I used to look at it as a hype. Suddenly, you have this wave where everybody talks about how organic they are in their life. Um, so, to me, I'm still not convinced that organic is sustainable. It's something that you do it when you have the chance to do so, but can you really do it on an ongoing basis? Can you adopt it in your daily life? Is it sustainable? Especially that in this region, particularly, organic products are so much more expensive than your carrots and cucumbers that you can just go to the grocer and ask him to bring it to your place.
Yeah. So, honestly, Jaya, if I have to tell you, like what I just highlighted in terms of the lifestyle diseases, have you really paid attention to that? So, what are the trigger points for lifestyle diseases? It's the processed food and the chemicals and the GMOs which are contributing to these, right? And there's definitely a risk of getting trapped into this, if maybe early, maybe later. Secondly, the fact, so this is more a personal level, right? So when I'm telling you why choose organic and sustainable over a conventional, it is because there is a possibility of getting trapped into the after effects of what we are consuming. So that's more at a personal level, right? Coming to the more global or environmental point of view, the moment you choose organic products over conventional products, you are contributing to a chemical free world. I mean, God's grace, you may be super healthy and your immunity may be perfectly fine, and nothing may be happening to you when you're choosing conventional food, you're eating, you're hale and hearty. However, what about those people who are actually suffering from these lifestyle diseases, which are triggered by these chemicals and the pesticides and the non sustainable farming practices which are being chosen by the conventional traders? How are we contributing to the overall environmental health? You know, so when you talk about it's expensive, it's a very when you look into the economics of the way the trading works, the more demand, the more supply, the prices are, they are definitely going to be lower. And perhaps you've not really looked into the pricing of the organic products. Looks, I mean, I would urge each one of you to go out there and pay attention to the organic products and the pricing. They are not as expensive, especially on our platform. So we offer to all our direct customers at an extremely reasonable price. I wouldn't say they can be matched completely to the conventional, but we are talking about perhaps few dirhams more, right? And when you have to really compare a smaller investment in your grocery bill versus a big chunk of hospital bill, perhaps, which is going to wipe out your entire savings, what would you want to choose? And the hospital bill, which is not only going to wipe out your entire savings, but also lose your time with your family, the peace of mind is lost, and the possibility of living a carefree, enjoyable life at that age. How do you really, how are you going to really match this, right? So this is what I would say. And even when and another thing is there are regulatory authorities which do go and vet. So you see these certifications that you see, right? There's USDA certification, there's NEO certification. These authorities, they actually visit the farm because we have been in this industry, because we have actually gone and visited those farms. We've actually gone and seen how they are operating. Automatically, there's a slightly additional cost attached to it. However, over a period of time, once our soil is going to completely convert into a fertile soil, which is completely spoilt right now because of the Western influence, because of the monocropping, and a lot of things what the West brought upon our in India, once things are going to normalize, we always had organic. Let's put it this way. We always, our ancestors always had organic. They never had, it was not called organic perhaps. It was just a normal food. Thanks to the Industrial Revolution, thanks to the Western influence, thanks to whatever conspiracies have, which kind of cropped up over many, many years, we have to pay price for it. And we are required to pay price for it. Are we paying a bigger price for it? I will say no. Compare. You will, it's a mindset. It's stuck in our heads that organic is expensive. Take a look at it. Take once again a look at it. Compare your normal grocery bill to try months organic groceries and see how much are you really spending and how much extra are you really spending, and how much extra whatever you're spending, how is it in a larger picture contributing to your own health, your own family, and to the environmental well-being. I would urge each one of you to do that. And that's when you'll get a bigger and a larger picture that what you're going to choose is going to be worth it and is not a hype.
Thank you. I must look at it again. That's a lot of food for thought.
Yeah.
There's another question that's come, which I think you've addressed in a bit, but if you could please elaborate. It says, how can you guarantee that these products are actually organic? Because, there's no way of knowing that this is really organic when you buy.
We have a lot of testimonials and we have a lot of direct customers. So I was very thrilled when I once got a call from a customer. She said, Ashwini, I've started using your product and I can feel there's a huge difference in the quality and the taste and the way I feel inside. Can you please find someone who can cook meals with your products and deliver it? And then meal plan using your ingredients, because there is a huge difference in the way I feel when I consume your products and when I have actually consumed some other product. So when you have it, when you taste it, when you start using it, is only when you actually feel the difference. I wouldn't tell anyone to go by the seal on the packet or the certifications which come along or the price. Pick up. It's just a one time, right? Try it, use it, and then you see. So we have a lot of customers, like Touchwood, like I said, we've been joined by many, many people who have joined our journey. They will vouch for the quality. And I'm not saying that definitely what we bring here on our platform is definitely applauded and really, really acknowledged. Try, even if not our platform, even if you buy somewhere else, try, feel the difference, and then you decide.
So, from your personal experience, has that made a change to your children's health when you switched?
Huge difference, I have to say. And I'm also a major propagator of millets. So millet are grains which are naturally gluten free, yeah? And they grow with they don't need any pesticides or chemicals, right? They are naturally organic. Perhaps these are one such grain which resonates with what our ancestors grew up with. That there was no term organic used, but a natural normal grain, right? So if you ask me, has it made a huge difference? My husband has suffered with his back issue, and by incorporating our organic lifestyle, there is a tremendous change in our lifestyle, in our overall health, wherein touchwood, after a certain point, I no longer have to depend on the medicines for my children. I no longer have to depend on any supplements, including supplements, because there are a lot of people who depend on supplements. You're taking Tulsi supplement, you're taking this, you're taking that. Jaya, it's a very, very vast subject, because if you get into this, there are so many things which can be grown in your balcony or in your garden, and so many things which you can just basic ingredients, kitchen ingredients, which you can use in your kitchen, and you can cure fever, cold, cough, or even reverse conditions. And there are people who have achieved results simply by adopting this lifestyle, and no medicines and no supplements. I can give you a full list. I mean, we work with a lot of such people. We work with a lot of such health experts, nutritionists, and people who have actually felt the experience. So, yes, I definitely have a concrete thing to prove that this does make a difference.
Fantastic. We have a lot of questions coming up. One more just to stick on the certification. What is exactly the certification? Which is the authority that gives the certification in UAE?
In the UAE, there's only one. There's
Huh.
this from the UAE government. So we
Okay.
have the UAE organic certification, which the all the local farmers have to do, right?
Okay.
So here they are not growing grains. They do not grow grains. They only grow vegetables here and fruits. I'm
Okay.
not sure how many of you know, in Fujairah, delicious mangoes are grown.
Really?
If you happen to go towards Fujairah, you'll see a lot of these fruit vendors who are standing by the road, in the roadside. Stop there, pick up a mango, ask him, is it from here? He will say, it's coming from the Fujairah farm. Delicious. So there are only few fruits which are really grown in the region, but lots of vegetables. And the authorities actually visit the farm. They test the soil. They make sure whatever compost is being used is actually produced in the farm.
Okay.
So they have all these goats and the cows and the hens and everything which they take care of. And there, that's how they make a compost with their whatever they poop out.
Oh,
Simple as
okay.
that. Yeah. So that's how the compost is prepared, and that's what becomes the manure for the soil, and that's how the vegetables are grown in this region. So definitely, and UAE being extremely strict, so even when we are importing, I think UAE is one of the strictest authorities all over the world, compared to all over the world, where you have to go through stringent lab tests, whether you're presenting everything properly or not, whether ingredient is mentioned properly or not. You're talking that you have a certification. Do you have a certificate or not? Yes, I mean UAE government has done a wonderful job in everything, as you can see, and even in this matter, they continue to do a wonderful job. So
So,
yeah.
has Roots Organic tied up with any farms? Can we buy the locally grown fruits and vegetables through your portal?
Uh, I do not deal in fresh fruits and vegetables, because as of now, I do not have the logistics or even the what can I say, the infrastructure to support the fresh food. No, I'm not working with supplying, procuring the products from the local farmers and giving it to them. However, you will see me talking about them continuously and talking about the various farms and the various farmers who are available in the region with a specific farm which is within the city. I promote them a lot because majority of the population lives in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, right? And to have a farm which is within the city limits, is brilliant. It's just about 40-45 minutes drive. So you can go and you can pick up your own vegetables from there. And the kindness of the farm with whom I'm working is that they have allowed me to put up a small kiosk over there where you can go and see our product. So it's a mutual support. So yes, so if you ask me whether we supply or we don't supply, at the same time we will guide you as to how you can go and pluck your own vegetables, fill your own basket, feel the freshness, and when you come home and cook, feel the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's,
So,
I would like to just add one more thing that we've recently started supporting a local farmer who is making a locally made ghee. So there are a lot of farmers out here who may not be growing vegetables, but they import the cows from India and they are making paneer, cheese, and ghee and these dairy products. If you are okay with the dairy products, if you listen to Dr. B.M. Hegde or other, they all say that if you really want to have dairy, procure locally. Try to stick to local. So yes, we recently made a tie-up with this one of the local farmer, and we are very happy that we are able to support his operations because he would literally do everything on his own, go door to door himself and deliver. Imagine a person doing everything on his own. Imagine the kind of struggle that he must be going through. But yes, we kind of reached out and he was very happy. So yes, we are supporting the farmer.
yeah. It's a very ambitious plan to set out to help the local farmer, in Indian farmer, essentially, sitting here in Dubai. I mean, it's ambitious enough sitting in Bombay to try and have this objective of helping the farmer. But how are you managing to do this with the pandemic, with the various challenges it may have brought along with it?
Like I said, when we started off our roots journey, we were very, very clear. We are going to work with people and organizations who are socially driven. And that's where, and I'm a firm believer of vibe, purpose, and I'm going to work with person who is driven by this vibe and this purpose and not otherwise. And like I said, I think once you follow your heart, everything starts to fall in place. So I've been fortunate enough to work with the entrepreneurs who are based in India, who also come from a similar background as me, where they have quit their super degree job and a high earning job and have settled down in towns to be able to promote Indian agriculture, to be able to promote Indian farmers. So we have our types with those people. And that's where we achieve how we achieve what we achieve. And of course, when you say how do I manage to bring it from there, there is logistics and there are a lot of things which go, they are all operational things. That is, everybody does that. But the genuine source, the source from where it's coming is from people who are working with purpose. And that's how we achieve our what we have set out to do.
So, what's Roots impacted by this pandemic? Did you have to, rechange the way of the modus operandi?
We were blessed. We actually got more exposure. Our visibility was more. So many people, in fact, I can clearly tell you when I started in 2017 and 2019, and when the pandemic came, there was sudden spike in our sales where more people opted for organic and sustainable products. Because I think this one thing that pandemic has taught you is that take care of your health, choose wise, choose right, and we didn't have to change our model. We had to well equip ourselves to be able to be of service. We struggled on that front, and not that we really had to think about are we going to go down? No, definitely not. In fact, it was the other way around.
So that's one of the positive stories coming out of the pandemic.
Absolutely,
Very good to hear
absolutely. We're
this.
blessed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for any venture, sustainable venture, to be sustainable, it has to be commercially viable. As a banker, you would only know that too well.
I do.
Has it been commercially viable, or are you getting there?
Uh, First 2 years was quite a struggle for me, I have to say, because we had a self-funded business, and me and my husband. So my husband is still working, and I just told my husband that, look, whatever I have earned for last few years in my corporate job, I'm going to pull in here, and that's it. So even if there's 0.1% chance that we are going to go down, it's fine. I mean, I'm taking this risk. Have we become commercially viable? It's a challenge. Like you said, we have a lot of consumers who believe that organic is just a hype, organic is expensive, will not buy. So yes, we are we have become little better than what we when we started, where we had huge pumping in of money and pumping in of things, and you're all alone. You're a sole entrepreneur. I don't have a dedicated marketing team. I don't have a dedicated digital marketing team. I don't have a dedicated finance team. I don't have a dedicated team. You're doing everything on your own. I would say only after pandemic we have become little better, but we still have a long way to go. And we definitely need a lot more support, a lot more people joining our journey for us to be continuing to do. Having said that, I'm somebody who will not give up so easily, so it'll happen. It has to happen.
Great to hear. Resilience in women.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
no, definitely. I mean, I'm into this with a very, very clear thought. It is going to happen, and I'll make it happen, and it will happen.
Wish you all the very best. You talked about briefly about how you can take an Indian out of India, but you can't take the Indianism out of us. Although we may be miles away from our home country, we still are very much driven by what's happening there. So we still want to do something, like you said, for the farmers. And the other thing you mentioned is millets. Millets has not done its PR properly, I must say, because even growing in Bombay, millets was the country cousin. We've never had millets, or rather I've never had millets as a daily thing to eat. But then if it has to be adopted into our daily lifestyle, uh, we would need recipes. Do you have any particular source where we can go and get these recipes?
Uh, Jaya, it's a very, very close to heart topic for me because when I started Roots, first thing which I brought was millets. Nobody had heard. Only people knew was Bajra Jawar. That's it. Bajra Bhakri, Jawar Bhakri. That's it. Nothing else. There are more than 8 to 10 varieties of millets. And that was my first shipment which landed. And I'll not lie to you, entire lot expired. Whole lot expired. And I was like, okay. Whereas my husband and me, we had kind of got introduced to it and we were using it and I was eating it and we were really enjoying it. So I had to literally call a group of people and I had to distribute free. Try it, try it, try it. Nobody knew about millets. And that's another thing which came along my journey. Now I have more than 100 millet recipes, which I have curated myself. I call myself a gluten-free recipe creator. So I'm very active on social media platforms. So I have my own Instagram page and my Facebook page. So when you tell me that, where do I begin? How do I incorporate this in my daily diet? What kind of recipes can I cook? Everything is available readily. You can just to kind of briefly let you know that since we have grown with the word of mouth, our journey has created our own community, and we have more than 400 members who follow the millet lifestyle day in, day out. Literally, when I say day in, day out, day in, day out. Millet is part of our daily diet, and not just bajra and jawar, other millets which are there. So when you ask me this, that how do I do this? Feel free. Happy to give away the knowledge and the information and the recipes freely to all of you, and you can just take a leap. So recently we had this webinar. Just last week we had a webinar where I had a cancer survivor and a mother of athlete sharing their journey of millets with our community members, and they beautifully summarized in few lines how you can use millet in your daily diet. So yes, there's ample information available right here in UAE. You don't even go to India to get that knowledge or the information. It's just about taking that leap, opening that mind to the millet. And like I told you, why is it that Mr. Modi conducted a speech the other day? eat millets, promote millets. It's one of the grains which is going to boost our Indian economy. It is one of the things which is going to save our farmers, and a very big answer to reversing the lifestyle diseases that we are plagued with. This is the answer. Just take a leap. We don't need to always have clear cut answers to all these things. Just take a leap. Just have the faith. Trust it. When you do it, you will go back and say it was worth it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been very, very interesting. I think we can go on and on. I personally am slightly converted. I shall go and check out your page. I must say your Roots Organic website is done very, very well. So good luck to you. I think we've addressed all the questions. One more question has come up here on where can we buy the vegetables from the farms? Can you give us details?
Yes. So there's one farmers market which happens in the Business Bay every Friday between 8 to 1, where a lot of farmers from Sharjah, from Abu Dhabi, from Alain, they all get together there, including our the farm which I promote, the Desert Organic Farm. They all come there and they bring fresh produce. Go there, pick up your weekly vegetables, and you're set for the week. You'll get all the basic vegetables. I wouldn't say you'll get, especially Chennai, I think you have variety of green leafy vegetables like kirai and things like that, right? You may not be able to kind of get that immediately, but then the standard palak and the fenugreek leaves and the mint leaves, like basic vegetables that we use in our daily life, the beans, carrot, beetroot, onion, all these things are very much grown here. You can buy from there, or there are few places of late. Few stores have started to keep the locally grown, especially Union Corp. Union Corp is doing a very good job of bringing the locally grown vegetables into their shelves. Only issue that I foresee is that they are again plastic wrapped and they are coming in the tray and things like that. So Union Corp is one place where perhaps you can go and check out. So it will be written specifically grown in UAE.
Okay.
And it's true. You can trust it.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight talking to you. And from the audience interaction, I can see that it has been really, really very close to everybody's heart. I now hand over to Dr. Manisha Phadke for her vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jaya. Good afternoon, everyone. What a wonderful session. A real eye-opener on sustainable living. And here in Dubai, in UAE, especially on this special day that is International Women's Day. The willingness to listen, the patience to understand, the strength to support, the heart to care, and just to be there. That is the beauty of a woman. And here is a woman showing us a way to go back to nature, going back to the mother's lap, the Mother Earth. Remember what Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So this year's International Women's Day theme is very apt. Choose to challenge. It means to make choice to change and challenge to emerge successfully. And that is what Miss Ashwini has done. She became the change. A challenge world is an alert world. Individually, we are all responsible for our thoughts and actions. Thank you, Ms. Ashwini, for highlighting Mother Nature. As a medical doctor and lifestyle management consultant, this subject is very close to my heart. The joy of watching budding fruits and flowers is second to none. In a nutshell, choosing organic and natural food means choosing sustainable, healthy life. So very important in current scenario of pandemic. Thank you once again for sharing your very inspirational life story. My special thanks to all of you for your valuable time and support to IBPC Women's Forum. I would like to thank IBPC office team for their kind support at a very short notice. Once again, wishing you all a very happy International Women's Day. Thank you.